Okay, we're live. Welcome everybody to our Shine Bright team training tonight. I haven't done a training for just a little while. We've been preoccupied with landmark courses and all sorts of other exciting things that have been extending the little grey cells in my head. One of the things that I've been doing for a little while now has been working with Simon Chan, who runs MLM Nation, and Justin and Nicole and Cheryl and I originally did a mastermind with them back in the start of last year, it was, because Nicole was having a baby and there was all sorts of exciting things happening around that. So Simon is a bit of a guru when it comes to online marketing, and part of the whole 90-day challenge that started up early around this year, where we were trying to do our DMO, our daily method of operation, and Nicole handed out the sheets which had what you had on the DMO, and everyone sort of saw this, and a lot of people just went, ah! And they just dove for cover because they thought, my gosh, I'm not going to go and friend 5 people every day, and how am I going to find all these people, and I'll be inauthentic, and all these things were going off in our heads. And the basis of that possibly was that we didn't really get what the concept behind this is. And so it became too hard, or we did part of it. So tonight I just thought I'd unpack a little bit more of that. I would also like to be a little interactive in this too. So if you have questions, it'd be really great to have a little bit of feedback as we went along. If you're not sure of something, or you want to know, just the most silly question is the best one that needs to get asked. So welcome everyone here tonight. I'm by no means the expert in any of this. I've been experimenting and trying different things, and I'm finding out things that work and things that don't work. And I think that's what we have to do, is we just have to keep adjusting what we're doing and then share in the team as it is. So can we just have a bit of an idea of who's actually, are there any Simon Chan Insider Group people that are on the call? I know, perhaps if you could pop something in the chat or unmute yourself. I certainly, is anyone doing Insider, MLM Insider? Debbie, good to see you, Debbie. So perhaps I need to open my chat screen. There we go. Yeah, so if you can just, people can't hear me, is that what we're saying? You can hear me now? Good, okay.
Good, David.
Right, okay. Well, yeah, just give me some feedback. Just unmute yourself and interrupt if you need to. So what I'll do first of all is just have a look at what the basic DMO was. And tonight's purpose is not to go through and tell you how to do it all, but I want to just talk about some things that have worked and then point you to resources. And if you choose, you can go off and watch those. And just pop some things in the chat box if you want to. What I'll do now is just share the screen to show you what, I haven't done a PowerPoint tonight. I've just got some of my notes, the sheets. Okay, so now can everyone see the DMOs on the screen? Can I just nominate one person? Perhaps Janine, can you just tell me if you can, or can someone just let me know? Yep, great, okay. Now, one of the things in social media is it's very different to talking one-on-one. And also this whole concept doesn't negate what you're doing with people, what you're doing with Clay Stevens and the other training that you're doing. It sort of fits in quite nicely. And one of the things we're finding is it's getting more interesting getting people out to regular events and things like that. So there is a lot of stuff, and regular events are fantastic, but there are things that you can keep doing without necessarily having to leave home. Now, part of the DMO was this whole 3-5-5-5-3 concept. So the first bit was where you had to create 3 pieces of content on social media every day. And that in itself is a process. If you do some of Simon's training, it's actually not that difficult to do, because you just have to pick some topics that you know something about and you're adding value. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples of what has really worked for me in just even in the past week, where I've been quite surprised with engagement, and also some things I tried just went flat. And I find now if you just do a post with no photo, it's just a waste of time. If you do a photo, you get more engagement. If you do some sort of video that's relevant, you get a lot more. So the 3 pieces of content are meant to inform and educate. And if you're just putting up about what you had to eat and all that sort of stuff, and my cat vomited, well, that's all very well, but it's not really going to engage a lot of the audience, and it's not really adding a lot of value. And there's a lot of that happens in social media. The content around all of that, I'm just going to show you something that I did on my Facebook page. I've been trying, in my case, I'm interested in natural organic food production and permaculture, so that's quite a passion of mine. And so the weekend before last, I went to Crystal Waters, which is a permaculture village, and there was no reception there, so I couldn't do a Facebook Live. But what I did do was a little video, and I saw this young fella here with his dreadies, and he's all into mushrooms, and he's very passionate about that, and he's growing all these shiitake mushrooms. So I went up and made him have a photo with me, and he's thinking, who is this random person? So I took the photo with him and I posted it. But before I did that, I also did a couple of videos of some of the entertainment, the marimba dancing, and there was other stuff happening, belly dancing, and just made a bit of a comment. And what happened out of that one post was that with the video, it only got 39 likes, but it got 12 shares and it got 914 views just on someone playing the marimba. So what's the big deal about that? The whole point of this social media bit is accessing people you don't know at the moment. And a lot of people want to stick with their little comfort zone, but the whole idea is you want to get access to a whole range of people you don't currently know. So to get 14 shares was pretty cool. And because I did something for this young fella in promoting his business, we got a lot more engagement around that. So family jumped on board. And when I went to the next market, following up on the following Saturday in Nambour, I did a Facebook Live. Was it perfect? No, it was terrible. But I went into the market and I thought, I need to do a Facebook Live because I want to add value to these small people who are farmers markets, and they're going there. And if people don't support these little people, they can't exist. They can't keep going to the market. It's the same as small business. So what I can do is add some value and generate some business. So I did a Facebook Live. I actually went back to the car and thought, no, I'll come back next week. I piped out and I said, no, David, you got to do this. So I turned back around and I just jumped in, and the poor fella on the vegan ice cream van wasn't ready for it, but that's okay. He was very appreciative. And then I interviewed this young Daniel with the mushrooms and asked him questions around that whole space. So in that particular post, because it was live, I ended up getting, it was 40 likes, 10 shares, and 604 views at the moment. And then, of course, all the family and all the friends, look what Daniel's on here, and both of those people gained several new customers each on the day from my post. So what do you think they think about me? They think I'm pretty good. So I have credibility. And then they're turning around and saying, well, look, what do you do? So I didn't have to go after them trying to do this. So it's a sort of a subtle process, but it takes time. So I'm sort of suggesting to people that you pick whatever it is you're interested in and then start adding value around that topic. Just don't post that you went somewhere. Try and educate around the topic a little bit and do something that can do something for people. I did another post. I went to a networking meeting, and it was the same sort of thing. There was a lady there on domestic violence. She was an ex-policewoman from New Zealand. And I invited another friend of mine who's on the board of Queensland Rugby League. And I connected those two. And, you know, Queensland Rugby League are doing a lot of stuff in this space as well. So was she excited? She was very excited. So I'm now having a coffee with her on Friday because I've done a couple of shares. I'm going to do a Facebook Live with her because I'm adding value to her and I'm getting her more business and I'm making connections for her. And then, of course, what she's going to do, I've now got access to all her people because she's going to refer them to me because I'm doing the right thing by her. So that's sort of a bit about the concept of doing these posts. And if you're doing them regularly, you're going to see quite a lot of stuff happening around that. And it's not to say I'm the perfect and most brilliant person, but I'm just finding some things are working quite well. And it is not a 5-minute instant strategy. It is a longer term strategy. So in doing the Simon Chan bit where I've been seeing these people, I'm then actually adding them as friends and I'm building up hundreds and hundreds of extra friends who are all in the pipeline. And as I do more and more content, they're more exposed to what I'm doing. Would anyone like to give me some feedback or ask me some questions just around that sort of idea? Okay. Just looking at the content. Okay, well, look, I'll keep going then. If you want to ask you a question. Oh, Barbara?
I've just been doing a little bit of blogging on Facebook as well recently for my new business. And I know that posting videos and things at 6 o'clock in the morning and 5 o'clock in the evening are both good times to do things. Is there a certain time or a special time to do a live Facebook video, or does it not really matter?
You can try and pick times that might work, but it's better to do it than not do it. If you're going to be doing a regular one, you know, when we're talking about, Simon says, it always sounds so weird, Simon says, he's always talking about you're better to do 2 posts around something and then 1 Facebook Live if you can on the topic. But, you know, because you can come back to it, the goal is you want people to share your post. And if you're adding value and they're interested in it and people start commenting, people will share. If you just have all these people liking all your posts, well, whoop-de-doo. That's nice and you feel good, but is it creating more stuff for you down the track? So Barbara, look, I just do it. Just do it and see what happens. And if it doesn't work, well, you just modify it. And then, you know, we could certainly have some community happening around this space with Simon's DMO. I might just kick on a little bit for that. What he does, there's a group called MLM Insiders that you can actually, because we did the mastermind and we paid for it for 6 months, we're lifetime members. But I think Debbie Johns has just joined at the last Bring Your Own Business workshop, 2 insiders. And in that, he actually gives you a lot of one-on-one coaching and questions and that sort of stuff, which is really, really helpful because it's just a changing tide. The world's changing really fast and he's right on the front of it and helping people. But what he wants you to do is just to just not spend too much time thinking about anything, just do something. And he goes online 3 times a day, 5 days a week. So you can go and do the live with him for 15 minutes. And in that session, and I think we could even try something ourselves if there was a group of people who wanted to do that, it just holds you accountable. So you actually get in and do it in that 15 minutes because otherwise stuff happens and you race off to work and you do this and suddenly you haven't done anything and another day slipped by. And the trick with this is doing stuff consistently. And I'm still learning on that front too, but you know, at least we're still having a go. Now, the 5 new contacts a day, the other core point I wanted to talk about really was the idea of adding yourself to groups, Facebook groups. So you really need to be in maybe a dozen different Facebook groups of which you are interested. So it could be around food, it could be around health. It's not going to be a seer or anything like that. It's going to be things that you're interested in. It could be the kids. I joined a chook group because we've got poultry. And there was about 7,000 people or more on the Sunshine Coast in this chook group. And so I've put up a few posts and we've got into conversations, and then someone will post up something and then you can personal message them out of that. So the thing is, you just don't suddenly, you have to go in and do this whole CLAM thing, which is comment, add, like, and message. And that's not an instant process. You're building up a little bit of rapport with people, and then you might send them a friend request. So for instance, the people that have looked at all these videos I've been doing, I'm going through now and commenting on some of their stuff. And then I may choose then to add them, send them a friend request, say, I really like what you're doing or what the young fella's doing. And if you look at their Facebook page, you see if there is something of interest, you send them a friend request. And it's just a little bit of a process that you do. But often we generate lots of interest and we don't actually, we're missing that little 5%. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are doing a lot of the work, but they just haven't tweaked that last little bit to get the results. And because they might be afraid of the process, or they mightn't want to actually invite them to the business. And there's some really good things around that Simon's got some trainings. The invitations to presentations and the follow-ups and the videos and the prospect, that all sort of flows through. And probably what I'll do now is just quickly show you a couple of resources that you can do. And I'll probably post this later on. If you want to get the cheat sheet from Simon, you can go to, let me share the screen again. Oh, yeah, this is all hiding underneath my...
David, are you able to put it in the chat box?
Yeah, I could cut and paste some things in the chat box.
Yeah.
Just trying to get rid of this drop-down bit here. It's come down over my screen. I can't see the tabs.
Oh, just drag it. Yeah, just drag it. Just,
thank you.
Yeah, pick it up and drag it. Yeah.
Okay. The first thing you can do is go to mlmnation.com. Okay, I'll just cut and paste these into the chat box if you like, or I'll be happy to load a file later in the ShineBright team. Would that be better? With all these links in it.
Whatever's easier for you, David.
Yeah, I might just do that. If you go to MLM Nation, you can actually download the free cheat sheet, and there's a lot of stuff in there that's really good. Now, I also I've been doing Simon's DMO, Go DMO daily challenge, and I was really fortunate to get interviewed by him the other day, and it sort of puts you on the spot a little bit. But it was a really exciting time, and I've learned so much from this whole process. So if you go to MLM Nation and you click on videos, again, I'm not going to spend too much on the how-tos here, but in these videos, he's got 26 videos under Simon Says. And I'd suggest anyone, regardless if they're doing the DMO, if you're doing any sort of social media, you can actually go and have a look at this. Now, he's put out a whole series of these. They're only 15 or 20 minutes long. Video 1 actually talks about how to get your social media presence up, what to have on your Facebook page or your whichever page you've got. But video 2 is actually the one that talks about this whole DMO in a lot of detail. So he explains the process around this whole thing. And I think if you don't understand the logic of why you're doing certain things, you can just look at the action and think, oh, that's too hard or whatever. So you really need to get what it's about before you dismiss it. Then video 7 is under the CLAM method, which talks about this comment, add, message and like. And then number 22 is a very good one. Where is it? I think it's 22. Sorry, oh yeah, up the top. I haven't gone up far enough. Number 22, how to transition from chit chat on Messenger to actually doing an invite. Now, I don't know about you, but sometimes you can spend a lot of time on Messenger getting to know the person. And so you've got all this stuff going backwards and forwards, and this can take days and weeks sometimes. And you never actually get to invite them. And I think this is where we fall over, a lot of us. We're spending time getting to know people, but we actually don't do that part of it. And he's got an awesome thing about what you do and how to invite them. And you just send them the message. And the way it's phrased is a way that it's not a confrontation to them. It's just, you're just asking them, inviting them to it, and you can go from there. So again, you can watch these videos if you choose. I'm happy to engage with anyone around this if they'd like to, and point you in the right direction. Then the other one that's happening is the BYOB workshops. I'm just going to scroll up rather. The Bring Your Own Business workshops, Cheryl and I went to one, and so did a few of the others. Debbie went to that, Debbie Johns went to that in Brisbane as well, which was awesome. Where you actually go and do this for a day, and the next one's coming up in Sydney, so on the 1st of December, and there's one in Auckland on the 2nd of December. So if you happen to go to any of those, they're really, really good value, because you go there to work, because so much PD, you learn all this stuff, and then you go home, and then you get busy and you forget about it. You just get steamrolled with everything that's happening. So I'd encourage, if you're interested in any of the social media, that you actually have a bit of a go at that. Okay, well, there's a lot more I could talk about, but I think I'm just going to call it, stop the share. And we've got a couple of minutes, so if anyone's got any questions, I am very, thank you, Nicole, she's popped something up there. Okay.
David, and if anyone is in Sydney, I would definitely go to Simon's workshop on the...
Yes, it is. The thing is, if you just have to get the concept behind this, and most of us are doing 80% of the work, but we're not getting the results. And I've got a lot of stuff in my pipeline now, and I've just got to work that through. But yeah, it's just a matter of doing those things and then singing out if you're stuck. Yep. Okay, well, hopefully that's been of some value, and happy to take messages from people or chat sometime. If people would think that they'd benefit from doing something like Simon's doing, where there's a set time where you just go on and you do your DMO in that 15-minute space, there's some value in that if different groups wanted to do that. Yeah.
That's great, David. Are you suggesting we could do one with you?
Well, we could set some times. The thing with this is accountability. And I think, you need to do a little bit more than the 15 minutes, but the idea is that people are busy and don't have a lot of time. But if you do some basic concepts, you still have to do your content creation, do the posts. But again, you can't spend too much time thinking about it. You just got to do stuff. So, and Nicole's our best leader on that front. And she just gets out and gets it done. And it mightn't be 100% copyright perfect, but it's done and it's happening. Okay, we'll fix up the other stuff as we eat the dust. But you get results like that. And
perfection is the enemy of a successful network marketer. That's from Trish Schwenkler herself, and it's true. Yeah.
Okay, well, look, I think we're done.
Yeah, great. I've taken lots of
David. And there is a 15-minute Go DMO in Shine Bright team. I think it's posted in the announcements that you can do. It's not the same as like doing it like live with someone there. I don't know, the energy of it's different, but it is there. Like it's exactly the same slides Simon uses at the same timing.
Yeah, I think the key point here is if anyone has got any uncertainties about the process, you need to step up and say, hey, help me. I don't get it. And once you get it, you think, oh, well, that's okay. That's all right. It's perfectly authentic, and I'm not being the wrong thing to anyone. Okay, well, we'll stop the recording and we'll say goodbye and see everyone very soon. Thank you for coming.
I could just claim the host, actually. So
Oh, okay. I'll still have to stop the recording though, won't I?
you'll have to stop the recording.
Thanks, David.
Will you? Did you say you'll stop it, or will I?
You just stop it. Yeah, you stop the recording. You do it.
It's not letting me do it.
Hang on,
Did
I'll
you
do it.
take the
I'll do it
host?
now.